first one I want to ask you about was Paul Heyman, because the word out there and the rumors and everything is that you guys always kind of had a contentious relationship, and then you wind up working together in WWE. Sometimes as opposing GMs on screen and stuff like that. But what was it like working with Paul all those years down the line?
It's really smart that you asked that question, because no one else ever has. I really enjoyed working with Paul, and we were both very well aware of the buzz, if you will, and the perception with the wrestling audience. Because again, you got to go back in time. The reason everybody thought that Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff hated each other's guts is because Paul Heyman spent a lot of time, barbecuing me on ECW television, and encouraging his talent to do the same. How many guys got over in ECW by burying ATM Eric McFoley, or Steve Austin got himself over in an amazing way by some of the silly skits that he did about me, and putting all kinds of heat on me for the way I treated him in WCW and all that, and the way he was fired. Hell, half the roster got over, by burying WCW or Eric Bischoff in one way, shape, or form. Paul did a great job and by the way, he did the same thing to Vince McMahon at WWF. It wasn't just me. Paul did a great job of framing himself in ECW as this little giant that could, fighting against the establishment of, Ted Turner and Eric Bischoff and, Vince McMahon and the WWF, when in fact, Vince McMahon was supporting Paul.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon was financially involved with ECW, but if you would have listened to some of Paul's promos back in the day, it was the big bad WWF trying to, suppress ECW, and Eric Bischoff trying to steal all of our talents and using billionaire Ted's money to put us out of business. That was the narrative that Paul created. So it was obvious that the audience would probably still believe that when I went to work for WWF. Paul and I were very aware of it. We were friends, not hang out and go to dinner kind of friends, although we did do that. But we were, we had a lot of respect for each other, and we knew that there was value or we thought there was some value in a possible Eric Bischoff, Paul Heyman, feud of some sorts, whether it be, in the ring or as GMs or whatever. We were very careful not to publicly, at least, put each other over or communicate too much, for people to see, because we wanted to keep that mystique alive. But I think Paul is, to this day, Paul's, without question, I think one of the best performers when it comes to storytelling, in-ring promos. I hate to just, relegate it to that, because it's more than just a promo. It's his character. The reason his promos are so good is because his character is so believable. The reason his character is so believable is because his promos are so good. So they kind of go hand in hand. But I think, if you have to measure a character's effectiveness on screen, I don't think there's anybody that you can look at objectively and say is a superior performer to Paul, even though he doesn't wrestle. It just comes down to the value of a performance. Very few people can come close to Paul Heyman, and it's unfortunate. And we never really did get to do anything together. We actually, not too many people know about this, but Paul Heyman and I worked on a movie script together for a while.
Oh, really?
We never went anywhere, never got off the ground, but there was a period of time, and this might have been even after I left WWE. I'm going to get my timeline straight here, but I think it was actually. But Paul and I creatively even worked on a movie script together. So a lot of respect for Paul.